Well, a very good afternoon. Welcome to a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Les Sables d'Olonne. It's day 8 out on the race course. And here in Les Sables d'Olonne, primed on the Portalona pontoon, is Jeremy Biou's Charal, all ready to restart this afternoon, 9 days after the start. Our guest today, we're welcoming Sébastien Josse, 3 times a Vendée Globe competitor and our weather advisor on this race. And also from Hungary today, Nándor Fa, who raced the last race and finished in an incredible 8th place, having designed, built and raced his own boat. So greetings to you both, but first of all, let's look at the standings at midday. So on top it is still Alex Thompson, 89 miles ahead of Thomas Rion, losing a little bit of a distance to the fast-driving Frenchman. Jean Le Cam in third, 122 miles behind the leader, 33 miles of difference between him and Thomas Rion. Charlie Dallin in fourth, 144 miles behind the leader, and a big gap back to Kevin Escoffier, 236 miles behind the leader, 41 miles behind him. Louis Burton in sixth place. Boris Herrmann, the German skipper on Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco, he's 294 miles behind the leader and 20 miles behind Louis Burton. Benjamin Dutroux in 8th and Sam Davis in 9th, this tightly matched group. And then in 10th, Yannick Besthaven at 327 miles behind the leader. Giancarlo Pedotti, our Italian, is in 15th. In 17th, Alan Rurer from Switzerland. 20th and 21st, well, Didac Costa and Pip here, old adversaries from many days, are only 2 miles apart still. And further down, Koji Shirashai is still repairing his mainsail. He's doing less than a knot. It's going to take him 2 to 3 days to get that repair done. He's in 24th, and then still close together, Ari Husela and Miranda Merin, 26th and 27th, 7 miles apart. So say we're joining Sébastien Josse today. He's going to give us a little bit of an update on the doldrum situation. But first of all, let's look. We had Nico Troussel and we had him this morning. Let's look at Nico Troussel's video that he sent just as he was heading back into the Cape Verde Islands.
Raconte-nous un petit peu comment tu te sens et puis concrètement comment tu as réussi à dégager le mât. Qu'est-ce que tu as dû faire concrètement?
Ouais, donc du coup j'ai dématé hier matin avant la levée du jour. Donc il faisait nuit quand je suis sorti du bateau et
onto the deck and saw the damage immediately.
Et puis du coup là ma priorité.
His priority then was to get the mast off the boat, away from the boat, because the sea was quite choppy. It was knocking around a bit and it was also hitting the foil, a little bit of damage on the foil. So he started away, cutting away the standing and running rigging, and then he managed to release the mast. He says it really wasn't easy at all. The most annoying thing was there's something quite high they had to work on, and he had to recover it. It took him quite a few hours to get the rig away. But overall, it did go quite smoothly in the end. As I say, he had a little bit of damage to one of the foils, but not too bad, so there we go. So after a few hours, you realise that the whole race is over. Not exactly sure where the mast is now, but it was broke halfway up. But he was really focused on getting all the debris away, not to damage the boat. He's quite a lot of sail up, so he spent a bit of time cutting away the sails, and he's not managed to clear it all. He's kept the boom, and now he's heading to Cape Verde Islands with headwinds, choppy seas. It's going to take a little bit of time. At the moment he's doing about 4 knots, and it's about 180 miles to go, and he's done about 70 miles since he started. So that's Nico Troussel. As I was saying, Seb Josse, you know Nico very well indeed. How's he going to recover from this? How's he going to take this blow?
It's hard to know because we don't have so much communication with him. But you have to take your time. You start to open the bag and hit, and to think what can be the next season. But before that, we have to bring back the boat on the land, Capo Verde, and after to find a ship to bring back the boat in France and to build a new mast and to repair the boat. So it's a lot of things to do and a lot of things to think for Nicolas. For sure, is quite disappointed because he do a really good start and he want to finish before to win. So I think it's hard for him. It's part of the life of the Vendée Globe.
It is indeed. But the boat was going quite well. What was your evaluation of the boat up till that point?
Yeah, the boat, it was quite a good surprise because we don't do some race before the start. So to see Nico going quite fast, we see the boat is no problem of speed, and after he takes the decision to don't go to the hard, too strong weather to keep the boat in one piece. So and after that, when you want to go fast, he arrived to do it. So it's good for the future. Now we have to fix the boat and to listen to Nico, because I'm sure he learned a lot about this few days of the week of sailing with the other competitor. So,
tell us about the regime in the trade winds. There's a supposition that it's all steady, easy sailing, but it's quite gusty, it's quite shifty, and when we spoke with Nico in the morning, it was very gusty.
Yes, I think you speak about doldrums?
About the trade winds, I'm just saying that in the trade winds it's quite gusty and shifty.
Stable wind, but in reality it's not the case because you have a lot of cloud, so it's like a small squall, so a lot of variation of intensity of speed on true wind speed and true wind angle. So if we can look the track of each boat, we see is like a snake. So trade winds, it can be fast, but you have always to watch the cloud because it's a lot of variation in wind direction.
So it's pretty intense. Seb, you're going to tell us about the doldrums then, how things are looking for Alex Thomson. It's never easy in the doldrums.
Doldrums is always tricky because you know when you go in, but you never know when you go out. So today the picture look not too bad, because it's not big storm, but in few hours, in 5, 6, 10 hours, we can have some big storm born, and it's a big part of the doldrum. So today is not too big. We can cross the finger for Alex. He can cross like the last edition, but we never know. We have to wait. When it's in the trade winds of South Hemisphere.
So will the boats catch up a little bit from behind, do you think?
It's always the case. So we never know. Alex can pass the doldrums and it's done. He can spark and the other boat can pass him. The picture today is more the first one. He can pass first and take the new wind. But we have to wait 30 hours to be sure he stay in the first position.
And what's coming after the doldrums? We come into the southeasterly trades. They're quite east, aren't they?
Yeah, after the doldrums, the picture is good or slow because the trade winds is east, so it means he can be reaching straight after the doldrums. So he can go really fast to the south. So especially with the foiler, it's maybe the fastest part of the Vendée Globe. So we see maybe average boat speed around 20, 23 knots easily in this part of the race.
Seb, wait with us for 1 minute. We're going to look at the video of Alex Thomson. His work rate, I think there's no question about that. But his work conditions, I don't think many skippers would put up with the noise on board Hugo Boss.
Hi everybody. Oh, still going strong, and in theory the doldrums now are just 12 hours or so ahead, and everybody's saying, and it shows on the files, that doesn't look too active, but I've heard that one before, so I'll be prepared for whatever's going to come. But yeah, all's going good on board here. My father actually messaged me today saying, what's the noise level like on board? So maybe I can just let you have a quick listen to the noise. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's it. So the faster you go, the noisier it gets. When you're going fast, maybe more than 25 knots in here, you can have an average noise maybe 90 to 98 decibels. The noise that's recorded for the hub on our website, that's updated every hour, that's just around the corner here inside the living area. And you'll see noises there up to 136, 138 decibels, something like that. And that in particular is the alarm. So the whole boat set up with alarms, my sleep alarm, foil alarms, hull alarms, mast alarms. If you can think of an alarm, we've got it. And that runs at about 136 decibels. And so it's pretty loud. And for anybody who's ever sailed with me, I can be pretty hard to wake up sometimes. So, but that alarm certainly wakes me up. Anyway, onwards and upwards, or in this case downwards, on our way to the doldrums, looking forward to the South Atlantic, which also looks rather fast at the moment, and then the entry into the Southern Ocean. Have a good day, everyone.
So very promising for Alex Thompson. A lot of noise on board.
Yeah,
contrast that with Boris Herman. We spoke with Boris on video this morning. Cool, calm and collected as always.
Yeah, how's life on Sea Explorer Yacht Club de Monaco today?
Yeah, good morning, Andy. Life is good here. So we had a nice night. I cannot complain about anything. The boat is in good shape, and I am as well myself. And now the next thing is going to be breakfast.
What are we having? It looks lovely.
Yes, it's getting really hot, and I find breeze up and down between 12 and maybe 18, and I found the boat a bit quicker with a smaller head sail, in fact. I swapped a bit back and forth yesterday night, and I'm now on a jib top, which is quite small actually for this wind strength. Mm-hmm. But it's going all right, and I'm keeping an eye on it, so it's a permanent hassle to think, should I put the bigger one or not?
I see. And you're happy with your position in the race so far? It looks pretty good. You're having a good race.
Yes, yes, Andy. I'm quite happy with that. That's more or less what I expected. I thought that I would be probably in the 10s, 12s, 14 something in this time of the race, and that still gave me opportunities to move further forward in the ranking. As the race is long, and I'm thinking I could make up places over time, and so I'm very happy to be in the game here with Sam Davies. That was one of my competitors that I trained a lot with, and that I'm very, very happy to be able to compete with here at the moment. And she's kind of a reference for me as well.
And Boris, we're looking forward to the doldrums. How do they look for you?
I think we have the doldrums look relatively good this time, and we may be pretty quickly through it, hopefully. So always the doldrums is a bit a black box. It's a bit hard to predict more than that, for me at least. Yeah, we're good. We are relatively west already, and it should go through quite smoothly. We may be surprised that Alex Thompson again just zoomed through. I wish him. I have to say, but it could also. It has these surprises, where one boat stops, and it can be horrible for your mind, for your brain, if you are the one that stops and everyone else goes at 20 knots.
How far down the course are you looking just now? Are you looking at the South Atlantic?
I do some routings occasionally down to Cape Town, which is 14 days from now. And so keeping an eye on where the St. Helena High moves. It seems to move around Cape Town at the moment, which is a strange pattern. I mean, it's a known pattern, but then it usually splits up afterwards, and that's probably what we're going to see. And what does it mean for the route? We don't know for 100% for sure yet. And but it's kind of good, kind of a warm-up routing exercise, and over the next couple of days. So I guess in 3 days, 3-4 days, it gets a more clearer picture, and also that's only then when we really need to start deciding.
And Boris, are you in touch with home, with your little family at home?
Yes, absolutely. I'm with my wife. I do WhatsApp calls every day, sometimes twice a day, and the audio quality is so exceptional that we are astonished each time. And I have this special headset that filters out the noise from the boat. So we can actually, usually I try to pick a moment where I'm relaxed on the bunk, and then we chat, and it's really nice. She puts the phone to the baby, and the baby tries to grab it and kind of recognizes my voice, and of course that's really sweet. And so does the dog. The dog tries to lick the phone when she hears my voice as well.
So Boris talking about his young baby, a 3-month-old baby, same as Alan Rura has, very difficult to leave, but staying in touch with the family. Seb, just a few words about the noise levels, particularly in Hugo Boss. It's insufferable.
Now for Hugo Boss, it's quite. It's not simple, but Alex do a great race from the start. So you see, it's a big background now in the Vendée Globes. But he don't do any mistake from the start, so we can trust this experience for the rest of the doldrums and any weather system Alex cross.
Okay, we've a question for you from the internet, and it's a question we all want to know the answer to. Seb, when will we see you on the race course again?
maybe next one. I hope so. Maybe we have to first find a good project, and after to think about to build a new boat. But maybe next edition.
Anything in the interim? Do you fancy the Solitaire or anything like that?
I don't really.
I'm saying, do you fancy La Solitaire next time, or anything else in the interim?
Maybe next Transat Jacques Vabre. We start to look. It's I can find some boat to sail with IMOCA or Ultime Trimarans. But the next race for sure is a Transat Jacques Vabre for me.
Perfect. Thank you, Seb. Join us again over the course of the race. Thank you so much. So let's look at the weather forecast, the weather situation initially from today, and how the doldrums are looking, and the doldrums at the back as well. Well, Tuesday looking quite difficult at the back of the fleet in particular. We're talking about 2 sets of doldrums, really 1,000 miles apart. First of all, up still in this high pressure area up here, we've still got a group of boats that are really struggling to come out. The exception really being L'Occitane out here closer to the Canaries, now getting into the very first of the trade winds. But up here, these boats are still going very slow. And that is to the advantage of Fabrice Amadeo, who's routing towards the west just now and actually catching up with the back of the fleet. In the middle, though, the trade winds are nicely established for this group. You've got a very tight group down here with Initiative Kerr, Sam Davis, Boris Herrmann and Maitre Koch. They're all going well in the trades, and now we're starting to talk about the doldrums for Alex Thompson. Alex should be leading into the doldrums later on today. Now the doldrums are basically, we're coming out of this strong northeasterly trade wind into the doldrums. Alex will see the breeze lighten, it will head him, and he should have a relatively straightforward passage across the doldrums. He'll see the one thing that we often forget about the doldrums is that the sea state is also conflicting with the the trade winds on the other side of the doldrums, and so you get a very confused sea. He may still get a slowdown of 4 or 5 hours with big shifts, but when we spoke with him most recently, he was looking towards a fairly quick passage across the doldrums. And certainly the trades on both sides of the doldrums are blowing quite easterly, quite parallel, so there's less conflict, and that means that the doldrums are relatively narrow for Alex. Should perhaps be just a little bit of a catch-up for the boats behind, but not too much. So let's look at the second slide, just in 1 second, and that just gives you a little bit of a clearer picture here of the trade winds become, the northeasterly trade winds become a little bit more unstable, and then here we see this relatively narrow transition zone where the breezes head Alex all the way round, and then coming out into this southeasterly trade, which increasingly veers for him over the course of the course. So a few hours of problems for Alex perhaps in the doldrums, but looking relatively straightforward. Well, here's hoping, fingers crossed for Alex. Light wind conditions really are playing to the favour, meantime, of Kojiro Shirashai, who's endeavouring to make that mainsail repair. Remember, he got a big tear across the top of it in the stormy conditions. He's been working hard over the last couple of days, and this was a video he sent of that work.
だいたいセールの処理が終わりました。きれいにしたので、これを今このサンドペーパーでサンディングします。サンドペーパーでサンディングして、シカフレックスがつきやすいようにします。とりあえず、上部上の方のセールだけサンディングします。で、下のこれ床は、セールロッカーの床ですね。セールロッカーの床を持ってきて、あれよく入れたね。出すの大変だった、セールロッカーの床。これからサンディング開始したいと思います。
So for sure, Kojiro Shirashai motivated more than ever, having had to retire from the last race. He's working very hard and he's making good progress with that mainsail repair. And also he had to replace some of his battens, which were all damaged. So good luck to Koji. Nándor Fa then, I think, is joining us in Hungary. Nándor, how are you?
Thank you very much. I just watched the news. And I think about what's going on out there, and just start to discover my feelings inside. So it's interesting to see.
It is. Obviously, you couldn't come to the start because of the health situation. How hard was it for you to be at home and watch on the broadcast?
I think it was an upset feeling because I was planning to come just a couple of days before the border and Sabdolon and the village was closed, and I had no any chance to come and to visit the boats, visit my friends, visit the skippers. So it's a big lack in my soul.
Indeed. Alex said before the start, he said that his hero on the last Vendée Globe was Nándor Fa, because he designed his own boat, he built his own boat, and he finished 8th. What do you think of that?
It's a privilege to hear that from especially Alex, who is one of my favorite. And I guess he's doing well his job. And I don't want to talk only about Alex, but Alex is sailing on the front and with very strict and very clean sailing. And of course, he's one of my favorite. But I can see in the fleet some young challengers who can be interesting in the future, especially in the long run on the south. we'll take some surprise in the close future. I cross my fingers for Alex, but nothing is finished.
Nothing is finished. It's hard for you to see Koji having problems. You were close with him in the race, in your race.
Yes, we are. I would say we are quite good friends. In spite of that difficulty, understand each other, but we feel it's a different kind of communication. And was very sorry news for me to hear he had some problems, broken cells and some other damage. At the beginning, I thought this is the end of his race, but he is a samurai and doing his best to keep going. And I just wish him somehow to finish the race and finish on the correct way he's able to do it.
So Nándor, you're quite famous at home in Hungary and your exploits are quite famous. Are there any young Hungarian guys that we might see in the Vendée Globe in 2024 or 2028 or beyond that?
Yes, there are some young and not really young sailors who wants to follow the way, which is not so simple. Hungary is a small country, small economy. The financial side is difficult. Also on the human side and the knowledge, there is one thing I used to tell them, sailing on the Vendée Globe or preparing yourself is not a hobby, not a part of your life. This is your life. If you accept it, you will be able. If not, you have no chance.
And Nándor, do you miss it, or are you happy that that chapter in your life is closed and you're a granddad and enjoying your wider family and all these things?
Yes, this chapter is closed. I would say fortunately, and I would say unfortunately, but this is true. I'm 67 at the moment. In spite of that, I feel good. The time is running quickly, and if I see the boats for going out and I see this beautiful sailing, I wish to be there. If I see the problems like Jeremy's and Nico's, I'm happy to be here and not to face with this kind of problems I felt before. All of these problems I felt and I lived before, and I don't wish to come back.
Indeed, Nándor. I mean, your race was incredible. A question from the internet. Now, this is not specific to you, but just in general, what does a NMOCA program cost?
You asked me to judge?
Just roughly, what would somebody have to spend to do an NMOCA program for the Vendée Globe? And I say it's not specific to you.
You mean one boat, one campaign for a skipper?
Yes, let's say that.
If you buy a second-hand boat, it can be about 2.5 million. If you want to make a new boat, a new, completely new business, I guess it's about 10, 12 minimum. If I would do the same way like the best Frenchies or Alex, it is more.
Good. Well, Nándor, a pleasure to speak with you. Hopefully you'll join us over the course of the race and you have a lovely day in Hungary.
Thank you very much. It's a beautiful day today and I wish the same to you.
Thank you, Nándor.
Ciao. Thank you.
So that's it for the day. We'll see Jeremy Bayou setting off this afternoon. He has got excellent weather conditions, particularly after Cape Finisterre. He comes into some low pressure systems and should have some fast downwind sailing. So a great opportunity for Jeremy Bayou as he sets off this afternoon. Join us then tomorrow at the same time. Meantime, do catch up with us on our social networks. If you've got any questions, post them on Facebook, Instagram or on Twitter and we'll try and answer your questions. Meantime, join us tomorrow. See you then.